Hello, welcome to the weekly highlights program on Azərbaycan Television with the major developments of the week. I'm your host, Ilham Məmmədov. Now first, let's take a brief look at some of the top stories of this week. A one-on-one meeting between President Ilham Aliyev and President Volodymyr Zelensky took place in Kyiv, Ukraine. A groundbreaking ceremony was held for the 240-megawatt Kızı wind power plant to be built in Azerbaijan by Aqua Power of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, attended the ceremony. On January 14th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, arrived in Ukraine for a working visit at the invitation of the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. On January 14th, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, arrived in Ukraine at the invitation of the President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. A guard of honor was arranged for the President of Azerbaijan at the Boryspil International Airport in Kyiv, decorated with the national flags of the two countries. President Ilham Aliyev was greeted by First Deputy Foreign Minister of Ukraine, Emina Japarova, and other officials. A one-on-one meeting between President Ilham Aliyev and President Volodymyr Zelensky took place. President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, welcomed President of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev. President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, welcomed President of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev. The President's posed for official photos. Members of the Azerbaijani delegation were introduced to President Volodymyr Zelensky, while members of the Ukrainian delegation were introduced to President Ilham Aliyev. The heads of state then held a one-on-one meeting. Then President Ilham Aliyev and President Volodymyr Zelensky held a meeting in an expanded format. Volodymyr Zelensky stressed the meaningful conversation with President Ilham Aliyev and expressed his gratitude for the visit to Ukraine during the COVID pandemic. Ukrainian President thanked the head of our state for the support extended to Ukraine, to its sovereignty and the joint projects between the two countries, and expressed confidence that these projects will develop bilateral relations in the future. Today we discuss energy, infrastructure, food security, transport, military and technical cooperation and other issues. In my opinion, we will definitely sign important documents as the beginning of these joint projects, and we will continue to complete these projects at the ministerial level, said Volodymyr Zelensky, and once again thanked President Ilham Aliyev for the visit. President Ilham Aliyev thanked Volodymyr Zelensky for the invitation and said the one-on-one meeting was very constructive. Ukraine and Azerbaijan have been successfully cooperating with each other for many years, and we also defend each other's interests on international platform. Mutual support and protection of each other's territorial integrity indicate to the level of our cooperation, said the head of our state, and expressed confidence that the issues and projects to be implemented will deepen the economic cooperation. Traditionally, we have cooperation in the energy sector. The state-owned company of Azerbaijan Sokar has been operating in Ukraine for many years and wants to expand this activity. There's great prospect in the field of transport, agriculture and tourism. The main thing is that the Intergovernmental Commission will continue to actively analyze all these issues and develop concrete decisions. Both reciprocal visits as well as telephone calls serve to resolve many issues, said President Ilham Aliyev, and expressed confidence that this visit will give impetus to the deepening of bilateral cooperation in all areas. Issues related to economic cooperation, including agriculture, transport, energy and food security, were discussed at the meeting. Following the expanded meeting in Kyiv, a ceremony of signing Azerbaijan-Ukraine documents was held in the presence of President Ilham Aliyev and President Volodymyr Zelensky. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev and President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky signed a joint statement of the Presidents of the Republic of Azerbaijan and Ukraine. Minister of Energy of Azerbaijan, co-chair of the Intergovernmental Commission, Parviz Shahbazov, and Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine, co-chair of the Intergovernmental Commission, Irina Vereshchuk, signed an agreement on cooperation in the field of food security between the Cabinet Ministers of Ukraine and the Government of Azerbaijan. Minister of Economy of Azerbaijan, Mikhail Japarov, and Deputy Prime Minister of Ukraine, co-chair of the Intergovernmental Commission, Irina Vereshchuk, signed a Memorandum of Understanding on emergency cooperation in bilateral trade between the Ministries of Economies of Ukraine and Azerbaijan. Minister of Economy of Azerbaijan, Mikhail Japarov, and Minister of Agrarian Policy and Food of Ukraine, Roman Leshenko, signed a Memorandum of Understanding on cooperation in the agrarian sector between the Ministry of Agrarian Policy and Food of Ukraine and Ministry of Economy of Azerbaijan. Minister of Economy of Azerbaijan, Chair of the SOCAR Supervisory Board, Mikhail Japarov, and Chair of the Naftogaz of Ukraine, National Joint Stock Company of Ukraine, Yuri Vitrinka, signed a Memorandum of Understanding on energy cooperation between Naftogaz of Ukraine, National Joint Stock Company of Ukraine, and Azerbaijan State Oil Company SOCAR. Minister of Economy of Azerbaijan, Mikhail Japarov, and Acting Chairman of State Service of Ukraine for Geodesy, Cartography and Cadastre, Serhiy Zavadsky, signed a Memorandum of Understanding and Cooperation in Land Relations, Management of State Property Lands and State Land Cadastre between State Service of Ukraine for Geodesy, Cartography and Cadastre and Ministry of Economy of Azerbaijan. Following the ceremony of signing documents, President Ilham Aliyev and President Volodymyr Zelensky made press statements. Greeting the President of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and the delegation led by him, President of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, said this visit had a big symbolic meaning because it coincided with the 30th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries. Noting that today they exchanged views on politics, economy and security and signed a joint statement of the presidents of Ukraine and Azerbaijan, President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the countries will support each other's territorial integrity and will work for the protection of their internationally recognized borders. Touching on the security field, the president said that the two countries will be dealing with security issues in the Caspian and Black Seas and will jointly fight against terrorism, will review together all the challenges, both regional and global, and develop joint resolutions for them. Dwelling on the pandemic, Volodymyr Zelensky said that despite COVID-19, the bilateral trade was raised to the level of 1 billion for the first time in 7 years, and this enabled to set up even bigger goals for both countries. noting their desire for joint investments on a number of large-scale projects and their willingness to participate in the restoration works in Azerbaijan. The head of state added that they had agreed on the next meeting of the Joint Intergovernmental Commission in the first half of this year, saying that they also reviewed the transit potential and came to conclusion to intensify the contacts between different state bodies and agencies in order to increase experience in this field. President Volodymyr Zelensky expresses gratitude to President Ilham Aliyev and the delegation led by him. Thanking President Volodymyr Zelensky for kind words, President Ilham Aliyev said he was glad there was a serious progress in Ukraine-Azerbaijan relations. Touching on the high-level political dialogue between the two countries, the head of state recalled that they had met last month in Brussels and President Zelensky paid a visit to Azerbaijan in 2019. Noting that the 30-year anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between the two countries will be marked on February 6, President Ilham Aliyev added that during the independence period, Ukraine and Azerbaijan always supported each other's independence, territorial integrity and sovereignty, and this was also reflected in the joint statement they had signed previously, saying that the two peoples are united by friendly ties and there was great interest to the culture of the Ukrainian people in Azerbaijan, and the vivid expression of that could be seen in Baku. The head of state added that on his initiative, the monument to the great son of the Ukrainian people, Taras Shevchenko, had been raised in one of the central places of Baku, and both the residents of Baku and guests of our city enjoyed their time in the park carrying his name. Saying that Azerbaijan state oil company Sokar was keen on expanding its activity and this was supported by the Ukrainian side, the president added that currently a network of Sokar's gas filling stations operate in Ukraine and the implementation of new steps for export of oil and petrochemicals and their processing will further deepen the cooperation. Expressing his satisfaction with the fact that last year the trade turnover increased by more than 20%, the head of state expressed hope that this visit will be an impetus for finalizing this year with good results on bilateral track, and this will be a good foundation for the future. Thanking President of Ukraine for the invitation hospitality, President Ilham Aliyev invited Volodymyr Zelensky to pay a visit to Baku. Afterwards, a lunch was hosted by President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky in honor of the President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev. With this, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, ended his working visit to Ukraine. A groundbreaking ceremony was held for the 240-megawatt Khızı-Abşeron wind power plant to be built in Azerbaijan by Aqua Power of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, attended the ceremony.
President Ilham Aliyev congratulated our people on laying the foundation of a wind power plant to be built in Azerbaijan and said that it would contribute to ensuring the energy security of our country. The establishment of this station once again shows that the Azerbaijani state attaches great importance to the production of renewable energy, said President Ilham Aliyev, noting that the project will be implemented by a company from Saudi Arabia, Aqua Power, which is at the same time the world's largest energy company. The station, with a production capacity of 240 megawatts, will be the largest in the country in the field of renewable energy sources. Moreover, it will help to create new jobs, save natural gas, and reduce the negative impact on the environment. Noting that there are close friendly and fraternal ties between our countries, the head of state recalled with great satisfaction his visits to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Meetings with His Majesty the King stressed that our people highly appreciate the support of Saudi Arabia to Azerbaijan during the period of occupation, because this country did not establish diplomatic relations with Armenia because of occupation, and this was a manifestation of the moral support and brotherhood extended to our people. Noting that the energy security of our country is fully ensured and the export growing every year serves the energy security of other countries, President Ilham Aliyev stressed that the production of renewable energy is one of the main tasks on the agenda, added that at present related projects are being implemented in the regions liberated from occupation. Minister of Energy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman Al Saud, conveyed greetings of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz bin Saud and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, to President Ilham Aliyev. Noting that our countries have close economic ties and Saudi Arabia has been supporting our country since 1991, the guest stressed that these investments in Azerbaijan in the amount of $300 million are the largest investments made abroad by Saudi Arabia.
Yaşıl enerji ilə Azərbaycanda böyük bir gələcək başlanır. Sağlam mühit, dayanıqlı inkişaf onun əsas məramıdır. Odlar yurdu belə bir gələcəyi enerji sahəsində keçmiş və bugünkü nailiyyətlərindən güc alaraq qurur.
Then President İlham Əliyev and Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman Al Saud led the foundation for the Khazab Sharon wind power plant with a capacity of 240 megawatts.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham Əliyev, received a delegation led by Minister of Energy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman Al Saud.
Mr. Minister, welcome once again. I'm really very pleased that you found time to come to participate at this important event for our country, for our partnership, for our brotherly relations. And once again, I'd like to ask you to convey my best greetings to His Majesty the King, to His Majesty the Crown Prince. I remember my meetings with the leaders of your country and the great hospitality which was shown to me during my visits, numerous visits to brotherly Saudi Arabia. And also, as I mentioned during my comments, I'd like to express gratitude for your continuous support of Saudi Arabia demonstrated to Azerbaijan during the years of occupation. We really highly value it. We consider it as a real sign of brotherhood, solidarity, and real sign of support. And also definitely our joint efforts in international organizations, in United Nations, Islamic Cooperation Organization, aimed at the restoration of justice with respect to the occupation of our lands, are highly valued by Azerbaijani people. And now when our land is free, it's a new opportunity for the country. It's a huge geopolitical change in the region. Our victory in the Second Karabakh War opens new opportunity for regional cooperation, including cooperation in the area of electric energy production and particularly renewables. I already said about our plans, about potential. And I think we can look in the future already after this important infrastructure project is in the pipeline to look how we can coordinate our efforts in maximum degree using our great potential. And I'm very glad that with Parviz you established a very close relationship, and he regularly informs me about your interaction in OPEC Plus and on bilateral track. And really, I highly appreciate that we managed to achieve our goal to attract investors. And I'm personally very happy that this investor is one of the leading companies in the world in this area and company from the brotherly country. This is very important for us and for our future cooperation. I am sure that you will have time to visit us more. As you said before, it's the first time in Azerbaijan. Hopefully, we'll see you more and more. So, once again, welcome.
The Minister of Energy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman Al Saud, said he was pleased with his visit to Azerbaijan. The minister stressed that he and his delegation were working hard in Baku and that mutual cooperation would be further expanded. Abdulaziz bin Salman Al Saud expressed hope that the draft cooperation agreement would be presented in the near future. Noting the successful development of relations, the Minister of Energy of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia stressed the importance of the groundbreaking ceremony of the Khazab Sharon wind power plant and noted with satisfaction that views on efficiency, renewable energy and other aspects coincide.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received a delegation led by Chief Executive Officer of the American Jewish Committee, David Harris. The historically tolerant environment in Azerbaijan was pointed out at the meeting. The fact that representatives of all nations and religions, including the Jewish community, live in a friendly and peaceful atmosphere as a family and are surrounded by state care in Azerbaijan, and the creation of comprehensive conditions for them at the state level was praised, describing this as a role model for the world. David Harris and the American Jewish Committee's cooperation with Azerbaijan was hailed at the meeting. The sides exchanged views on the current geopolitical situation in the region, Azerbaijan's growing influence in the world and in the region, as well as a number of regional issues of mutual interest. David Harris informed the head of state of the fruitful meetings he held in Baku, including the meetings with the Jewish community as part of his visit. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received credentials of the newly appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, Abdulwahab Osman.
Ambassador Abdulwahab Osman presented his credentials to President Ilham Aliyev. President of Azerbaijan Ilham Aliyev then had a conversation with the ambassador. Hailing the good level of relations between the two countries, the president stressed that there was extensive cooperation within international organizations, including the United Nations, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation and the Non-Aligned Movement. Pointing out the economic relations, President Ilham Aliyev stressed the need for stepping up efforts in this area and exploring the opportunities for increasing the turnover. The president also noted the importance of promoting active contacts between people in terms of developing bilateral relations. President Ilham Aliyev expressed his confidence that bilateral relations between the two countries would successfully develop during the tenure of Abdulwahab Osman. The head of state noted that during chairmanship in the non-aligned movement, Azerbaijan had always been guided by the rule of international law and the Bandung principles, which formed the basis of the non-aligned movement. President Ilham Aliyev touched upon the occupation of Azerbaijani territories for nearly 30 years and the destruction of these territories committed by Armenia and acts of vandalism against the cultural heritage of Azerbaijan, and said that the post-conflict peace agenda was already being implemented. Ambassador Abdulwahab Osman conveyed the greetings from President of Algeria Abdelmajid Tebboune to the President of Azerbaijan. President Ilham Aliyev expressed his gratitude for the greetings and asked the ambassador to convey his greetings to the Algerian President. Ambassador Abdulwahab Osman said that Algeria was fully committed to the principles and goals of the UN Charter, including respect for the country's national sovereignty, territorial integrity, and non-interference in internal affairs. The ambassador said he would spare no effort to further develop bilateral relations. Ambassador Abdulwahab Osman highly appreciated Azerbaijan's chairmanship of the non-aligned movement.
President Ilham Aliyev received credentials of the newly appointed Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Korea, Lee Eun-yong.
Ambassador Lee Eun-yong presented his credentials to President Ilham Aliyev. President Ilham Aliyev then spoke with the ambassador. President Ilham Aliyev noted that relations between the two countries were built on a solid foundation, emphasizing that they had developed very successfully over the years of independence. The president noted that Azerbaijan and the Republic of Korea had been actively cooperating in various fields for many years and held the development of political ties. In this regard, the president noted that the visits of high-ranking Korean officials to Azerbaijan had contributed to the development of bilateral relations. Touching upon the economic cooperation, President Ilham Aliyev said that many Korean companies were successfully engaged in various economic sectors in Azerbaijan, including infrastructure and construction projects. The head of state stressed the importance of joint investment, increasing export and import operations, and expanding people-to-people contacts. President Ilham Aliyev also expressed his confidence that bilateral relations would continue to develop. Pointing to the development of relations between the Republic of Azerbaijan and the Republic of Korea over the past 30 years, Ambassador Lee Eun-yong stressed the importance of further strengthening economic cooperation and people-to-people contacts in line with the potential of the two countries, adding that he would spare no effort in this regard during his diplomatic tenure. The sides exchanged views on the possible involvement of Korean companies in the restoration and reconstruction work carried out in the liberated territories of Azerbaijan.
President Ilham Aliyev gave an interview to local TV channels on January 12th. In the interview, the head of state answered questions about the work carried out in Azerbaijan in the economic and social spheres in 2021, relations between Azerbaijan and Armenia, the reconstruction work in the liberated territories, the country's foreign policy and other issues. President Ilham Aliyev spoke in detail about the Azerbaijani government's plan and strategy for economic and social projects this year, the ongoing projects to strengthen food security and the work done to further strengthen the social welfare of the families of martyrs and war veterans. Emphasizing the large-scale socio-economic projects implemented in the liberated lands, the other side said that a very large program was launched in this regard last year. In the interview, President Ilham Aliyev spoke about the consistent work done in the country to combat corruption and bribery and said that this work will continue. At the same time, the head of state said that Azerbaijan's military power would be increased and noted the revanchist tendencies were observed in Armenia. He stressed that Azerbaijan presented a peace agenda to Armenia. The head of state said the year after the end of the war, we were satisfied with the reaction of the international community. However, this is largely due to our activities. President Ilham Aliyev also answered questions about the Zangezur corridor, the OSCE Minsk group, the illegal visit of several French presidential candidates to Karabakh, and the activities of Russian peacekeepers. The head of state answered journalists' questions about the fight against coronavirus in Azerbaijan, Azerbaijan's growing role in the international arena, its chairmanship in the non-aligned movement, Azerbaijan-EU relations, Azerbaijan's role in ensuring Europe's energy security, Southern Gas Corridor, and other issues. That was all for the week. Thank you for watching us and stay tuned not to miss the next edition of our program.